Hello, it is April 26th. It's a Sunday at 4 in the afternoon. I'm currently outside Burger King just eating some food. Some burger and a chicken fries. I think I want to continue a little bit from last week with the social media posts into this week because there was a big thing about President Trump saying to ingest certain chemicals, I think. I haven't personally went and looked up any because I don't really pay attention to that, like, at all. If it's not necessarily political, I'm just, But I also haven't been online to look at that a whole lot this past week. So, I've been doing a lot of work, but I'm just going to go on there and see if I could find anything. Okay, here's one. Now I'm in a Facebook group specifically. It's called Make America Sane Again. And it says, look, people, Trump is right on this one. If you inject yourself with Lysol bleach or other disinfectants, you probably won't die from COVID-19. And then there's a recording of news anchors talking about Trump suggesting injecting disinfectant as treatment. And that's on CNN currently. That's what it says. I mean, did anyone ever think there would be a day when the President of the United States would suggest injecting yourself, not even going to a doctor or anything for treatment, but injecting yourself with household cleaners? Because I gotta tell you, I never thought I would. Never. It's crazy that people can believe a man that doesn't know anything about politics or really anything for that matter. He doesn't really know much about anything. He knows money and people and how to use them, and that's it. But they'll take his advice over something like this that is the expertise of scientists and just these people with doctorate degrees with years of research behind them, and for some reason they're not good enough. But him spouting his opinion, it's not even fact. Like, it's, why would you believe him over all these other people? I don't understand. Because all doctors have ever done is create vaccines, which of course anti-vaxxers don't believe in, but that's invalid. Medications, treatments for literally everything that's ever happened so far, and what they don't have figured out they're working on. It's like, how could you believe a man that's never really done anything to help anybody else in his life, but then there's these people that's what their lives are dedicated to. They're trying to make the world safer and better and prolong our existence here, but for some reason they're just not worth listening to. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I think Kentucky's quarantine ends on the 30th of this month, the 30th of April. But I don't know if that's changed or not, because I don't watch Andy Bashir's daily 5 o'clock updates. But I think that's the last thing I remember about it, that being the date that we're quarantining will end. But, But I don't know how many people are going to follow that because of the protests that happened. Because since those people went out, the numbers have increased for the number of cases of COVID-19. So I don't believe there's going to be a lot of people outside regardless. At least not people that believe that what those other protesters did was wrong. They'll be staying inside for maybe another 2 weeks to stay clear. I think the big point around this vlog is propaganda and false information, because people will listen to something on the news like for 5 minutes and then they think that whoever said it, because of their position and not looking at their credentials, that they have a right to say those things, like for Trump, because he's the president. That doesn't mean anything. He's just the face of America, and that sucks, but he can't tell people what to and to not do when it comes to their medications or any kind of treatment. And people will take it as like the word of God, which I think is blasphemous, but it's like, it's that same level. It's crazy. Like, you're just taking his word for all of this stuff when there's nothing to back it up. Like, how could you think that injecting yourself with household cleaners would help you with anything? Would help you with any treatment? It could kill you. Why would you take his word for that? I mean, if there's literally labels on those products to not ingest, why would you inject yourself with them? I don't understand. Like, I have nothing personal against any conservatives or Trump, but based on what I've seen since the first election, and even not even just the first election, from when he was campaigning to win the first election, I don't support the spread of unuseful, unnecessary, and inaccurate information. And his rallies, his rallies are inciting violent behavior, because you can see a clear correlation between his words and his actions and the viewers and participants of those rallies and of the Conservative Party. You can see clearly that what he is doing is affecting these people, and his words are inciting some type of violent behavior among this group towards other groups, either whether it's just because they're Democrat, they're minorities, or they just they plainly just don't agree with them. And that's not to say that Democrats aren't bad either, because there's some people that are just so intolerant that they'll bash conservatives online, and I just don't fall for it either way, because that's not what I do. But this pandemic has really brought out colors in people, and I've seen more conservatives insulting and back-talking to Democratic parties or any party that isn't conservative, and people that are from the Democratic Party. I've seen them post some pretty nice things. I mean, not everyone has, but the majority of what I've seen. But of course, that's not everybody in the world, so. But I just have a negative experience with conservative people, so that's biased, but I think with this week, it's just a matter of people getting prepared for when quarantine does end, because if it does end on the 30th, then there's probably going to be a great amount of people that are outside, but also a great amount of people that are staying inside. So I don't know what this will do to businesses and whatnot, but just hopefully we don't see another spike where it requires everyone going back inside forever again. Because while my routine isn't really eventful anyway, it still is nice to be able to go out to like the mall and get lunch or something at the food court, or to see a movie on occasion, or just to literally be around a group of friends instead of just one or two. And to be able to study with people in your classes, because it makes it easier on you. But overall, it's the big takeaway for me, especially after seeing stuff this week and articles and all that. Just don't believe everything you see on the internet. I mean, I know everyone's been told that before, but nowadays it's like it's less kids and it's more adults that need to be told that. Because I see a lot of problems with adults believing all this stuff that they read. Because they don't have trusted sources. And it's like, if you're in school and you're writing papers, you need to have scholarly, peer-reviewed articles to write your examples from, or where you get your information from and how you learn things. You have to cite that, you have to know it, and they should be the same. You don't take someone's word for it when it comes to something like this. Especially when this is a global pandemic. You don't do something like that. You just don't. Don't take somebody's word for it.